Algebra 2, Set 21, Scientific Notation and Two Statements of Equality. Okay, if we have the number 412 and 36 thousandths, when we use scientific notation, the scientific notation is just multiplying by powers of 10. And whatever power of 10 that you multiply by tells you where to move your decimal point. So for example, if I multiplied times 10 to the second power, then I would get 41,203 and 6/10 because I moved the decimal place 2 places to the right. If I multiply times 10 to the fourth power, I'm going to then move the decimal place 4 places to the right. So I end up with 4,120,360. Now if I multiply by 10 to the negative 2, I move the decimal place to the left. So I end up with 4.12036 because I move my decimal place 2 places to the left. If I have 10 to the negative 4, then I move it 4 places to the left, so I end up with 0.0412036. It started at 2 and it moved 4 places to the left. Okay, now we're going to move on and do a little bit more complicated solving. So what we're going to do is we have an equation that looks, or an expression that looks like this, and we're going to simplify it using scientific notation. So the first thing we're going to do is put everything in terms of scientific notation. So the first one is going to be 3 times 10 to a power. Because it is decimal point 000, I know it's going to be a negative power, and I just have to count 1, 2, 3, 4, so it's 10 to the negative 4. I'm just counting until I get that decimal right in front of the 3. So if I look over at 4,000, I know it's going to be 4 times 10, and I know it's a positive number, and I moved it 3 places, so it's going to be 10 to the third power. Okay, 0.006 is going to be a negative, so 6 times 10 to the negative 3. And finally, 2,000 is going to be 2 times 10 to the positive 3, because I moved it 3 places to the left. Now that I have everything in scientific notation, I can take that and simplify it. So I have 3, 10 to the negative 4, and 10 to the negative 6 make 10 to the negative 10. And then on the top I also have 4 times 10 to the negative, or 4 times 10 to the 3. On the bottom I have 6, and then I have 10 to the negative 3 and 10 to the 15th, which make 10 to the 12th, times 2, and 10 to the 3 times 10 to the 4th is going to be 10 to the 7th. Now I'm going to take the numbers that are not powers of 10 and put those together. So I have 3 times 4 over 6 times 2 times 10 to the negative 7, because 10 to the negative 10 and 10 to the third make 10 to the negative 7. And on the bottom is going to be 10 to the 19th, because 10 to the 12th and 10 to the 7th make 10 to the 19th. So 3 times 4 is 12, 6 times 2 is 12, so I have 12 over 12. That turns into 1. So my final answer is going to be 1 times 10 to the negative 26, because I can either move this 7 down to the bottom to make it 26 on the bottom, or I can move the 19 up with the 7. Either way, it's going to be 10 to the negative 26th. Okay, we've been working with value problems where we use some sort of money to do to solve equations that have 2 unknowns. And we've been working with ratio problems as well. So this is kind of a combination of those. So we'll have ratios given, or some combination of 2 numbers, and we are going to need 2 equations with 2 unknowns. So this problem says the ratio of 2 numbers is 3 to 4, and their sum is 84. What are the numbers? So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pick whatever I want to represent the 2 numbers. I am just going to pick A and B. And I'll say A to B is 3 to 4. So that's showing the ratio. And then my other equation is the sum. So the sum of A and B is A plus B equals 84. And from here, I'm just going to solve. So I have 4A equals 3b because I'm cross multiplying. And I'm going to solve for a, so I'll just divide both sides by 4. So a is 3/4 of b. I can take that and plug it in. 3/4 b plus b equals 84. And 3/4 plus 4/4 is 7/4 b equals 84. And now I can multiply by the reciprocal and get b is equal to 7 goes into 84 12 times. So 12 times 4 is 48. So b is 48. And I know a plus b is 84, and a is 3/4 of 48. So I'm just going to use 3/4 of 48 to find a. I know 4 goes into 48 12 times. 3 times 12 is 36. So my two numbers are 36 and 48. We'll do another problem like that. The sum of two numbers is 128 and their difference is 44. What are their numbers? So the sum is 128 and the difference is just subtracting. So a minus b equals 44. So now I have two equations, and these two equations look like they would best be solved by using elimination. So that's what I'll do. So all I need to do is add these two equations. A plus a is 2a. 128 plus 44 is 172. Divide both sides by 2, and we find a is equal to 86. Now we can use what we know. We know that a minus b is 44 and a plus b is 128. So I'm just going to take 128 and subtract 86 to find out the other number, and that number is 42. So my solution is 86 and 42.